Mic check, test system, check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Thank you.
Hamatakiapi, Taya Wachianke. Noa Adida Ut, Tadachikstihu, Daraku Tiri. Hello, relatives. It's good to see you. From the beginning, Colorado was home to 9 distinct bands of the Nuche, now known as the Ute people. Each band laid claim to various parts of the state. Today, Colorado College occupies the ancestral homelands and traditional territory of the Tavawatch and Mowatch bands of the Nuche. All Nuche bands were forcibly removed to reservations in southwest Colorado and Utah with the 1868 Ute Treaty and the 1874 Bruneau Agreement. This area was also home for other nations, including the Dene, or Apache, Henana, Ena, or Arapaho, Sissiska, or Cheyenne, Nimina, or Comanche, and Koigu, or Kiowa. These nations were forcibly relocated to Indian Territory, now known as the state of Oklahoma, with the signing of the 1867 Medicine Lodge Treaties. We affirm that early United States national policy was designed to break down indigenous communities, destroy cultural identities, and outlaw traditional religious practices to clear a path for non-indigenous settlement. This was accomplished through genocide, assimilation through boarding schools, colonial oppression, forced relocation, broken treaties, and land theft. Despite that, indigenous people are still here today, resilient, thriving, and vibrant citizens or descendants of 574 U.S. federally recognized sovereign tribal nations, plus those from the north and south of the U.S. borders and beyond. The Nuche still call this region home, as do many diverse Native people, as friends, scholars, educators, colleagues, and community members. Indigenous people continue to embrace our languages, spirituality, and traditions. We acknowledge that the land, Unchimaka, continues to hold the values and prayers of our ancestors. You will have many opportunities during your time at CC to travel throughout Colorado, across the country, and even abroad. Wherever you are, I urge you to learn the names of the original people of the land you are on. If you're in Minnesota, think of the Dakota, the Maya if you're in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, and the Kanaka Maoli if you're in Hawaii. Then think about the complexities of indigenous histories, natural resources of the land, and colonization. Tankashlo wokiye nichokte. Have an incredible year. Mitakoye oyasin.
We are invited together to open and welcome in this new year the endless possibilities unfolding in our lives and each other's, making the choice moment by moment to be curious as we explore, deepen, and take risks, courageously wrestling with ideas, ourselves, each other, and the world in ways that honor the dignity of each person, the life of the mind, spirit, and our embodied selves. As empowered together, we create community of belonging. It is our choice, and may we be intentional as we live, study, and play together, seeking understanding, extending compassion, embodying empathy as we help create the world we long for. May all that supports us and sustains us be present with us this year, and may our values and what we hold as meaningful and sacred guide us. May it be so.
Please join me in singing the first 2 verses of the Colorado College hymn. Please be seated.
Welcome everyone to the 2024-25 academic year, and in particular, welcome class of 2028, new staff and faculty. This year has a lot in store for us: the presidential election, spending time with friends, and of course, the release of Moana 2. As we come together today, I want to not only celebrate the start of the new school year, but also to acknowledge the unique challenges and opportunities that lie ahead for us. When we look around at the world, we see a landscape marked by conflict and a questioning of our values. Climate change looms large on the horizon, political divisions are at every turn, and the weight of everything can feel huge at times. The world is in constant flux, often marked by turmoil and chaos. The feeling of being overwhelmed can be paralyzing, making it difficult to know where to start or how to make a difference. When facing these daunting challenges, it is important to remember that we need to focus on what we can influence rather than to feel demoralized. We cannot solve the world's problems, but we can invest our energy in our community and environment, engaging with those around us and contributing to the change we want to see in the world. Being active in the community and pursuing our interests not only allows us to contribute positively, but is also incredibly rewarding. It is through these activities that we form bonds with others who are passionate about the same things. This creates long-lasting memories and friendships through shared experiences. The CC community is an amazing place to get involved, find your passions, and form new connections. There are dozens of clubs and organizations focused on all kinds of activities. From dancing to investing to teaching in local schools, from robotics to soccer to a cappella. Each club unites a group of diverse individuals around a common interest. As I was writing these remarks, I thought of Outdoor Education's annual Snow Day event. For the past 3 years, I've had the chance to serve as a leader, doing my best to teach others how to ski. Every year, without fail, I grumble through the early morning wake-up, dragging myself out of bed. But after a nap on the bus and spending time with my group, I remember why it's worth it. What stands out most isn't just the skiing, but the enthusiasm of my peers, many of whom are trying something completely new and outside their comfort zones. Most students embrace the challenge with excitement and an open mind, which is really inspiring. On the surface, it may look like just another group of skiers, but to me, it's a reminder of how rewarding it is to get involved and help others gain new experiences and expand their horizons. At the heart of the CC experience is the block plan. The same block plan each of us likely have had to explain time and time again to friends, family, and strangers. The same block plan that some say makes for the perfect way to learn, undistracted by simultaneous classes, while to others, that same focus is too intense. The block plan forces us to be incredibly mindful of how we spend our time. Every 3.5 weeks, we have to rethink parts of our schedules and our routines. The time spent on classwork can shift dramatically from one block to the next, and we are obligated to adapt. In addition to class, there are so many other things on our to-do lists that seem to be ever growing. While it is important to find your community and get involved, it is equally important to balance things out and rest and to leave time for the unplanned and unexpected. Unplanned time can lead to some of the most memorable and creative moments of our lives. When we allow ourselves to step out of our routines, we open ourselves up to new experiences and opportunities. Some of my fondest memories from first year were spontaneous moments like heading to Josh and John's on Lime scooters or running into friends while strolling around campus. Since then, my schedule has become ever busier with class, involvement in clubs, musical groups, and other commitments. Over time, spontaneity gave way to predictability. The spur-of-the-moment ice cream trips and activities were either skipped or overshadowed by a nervousness of the tasks being pushed off to later. This is when I began to understand that in the midst of all this activity, it's crucial to work on balance. Effective time management doesn't mean filling every minute with productive tasks. On the contrary, the best time managers understand the importance of leaving space for relaxation, spontaneity, and unplanned moments. These are the times when we recharge, find inspiration, and experience joy. To actively encourage balancing involvement and wellness, this year, Colorado College Student Government Association will expand efforts to support student groups and student connection all across campus, as well as plan more school-wide events and other opportunities for joy and unwinding. We will also be focused on fostering healthy dialogue and developing a culture of collaboration and transparency within CCSGA, making the organization more student-facing so that everyone can give their input and know what we are working on. College is a time not only to learn and grow, but also to have fun, enjoy the moment, experience autonomy, and prepare for what comes next. Embrace that. Make the best of it and create memories with your friends. Play spike ball on the quad, dance your heart out in dance workshop, frolic in the snow. You do you, but remember to take time for yourself. You deserve it. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce our interim president, Dr. Manya Whitaker. She assumed the presidency on July 1st, 2024, and will serve in the interim role for 2 years. She previously served as executive vice president and chief of staff, serving as an extension of and principal aide to the president. Manya is also a professor of education at Colorado College and a developmental educational psychology with expertise in identity formation and motivation. She's the author of 4 books and 20+ book chapters and articles focused on her research. Dr. Whitaker came to Colorado College as a Riley Scholar 13 years ago and has held numerous roles at CC, including Associate Chair of Education, Interim Director of the Butler Center, Director of the Crown Faculty Center, Director of Graduate Studies, and Chair of Education. Please join me in welcoming Interim President, Dr. Manya Whitaker.
Good morning, Colorado College students, staff, and faculty. I want to start with a shout out to the class of 2028. Congratulations. We're so happy to have you here as part of our community. Yes, I like that. You all are about to embark on an academic adventure like none other. I know you're focused on the first day of class and getting settled in around campus. But over the next 4 years, you will come to understand that what you learn and experience here at CC will benefit you for the rest of your life. The upper class students and the staff and the faculty here today can attest to the fact that a Colorado College experience may not always be an expected experience, but it is a transformative one. That is what each of us committed to when we made the decision to come to Colorado College. Student transformation. And we also came for the block plan. Teaching just one course at a time is a rarity for we faculty. Learning in an immersive setting is ideal for many students. The luxury of focus is great for us all, especially in a world filled with distraction and overstimulation. We all, including our staff, share the freedom and flexibility to manage our time in ways that allow us to discover, and in some cases rediscover, our passions. For students, that could be joining one of the many clubs you just heard Karai talk about, participating in dance workshop, volunteering in the community, having a job or internship, spending time outdoors, or really just hanging out with your friends. For employees, it actually isn't all that different. We too hang out with our friends in Rastal, Susie B, department lounges, and really anywhere we can get coffee all day long. We enjoy free admission to athletic events and to a 50,000 square foot museum hosting over 17,000 objects celebrating our sense of place. We and our families have access to a world-class fitness center, and we even get paid to volunteer in our community. Colorado College invests in its people so they can expand their identities and explore interests they may not have yet had the opportunity to nurture. That's what happened to me in college, graduate school, and certainly once I got here to CC. If you ask anyone who knew me before 2011, they would have never predicted I'd be standing here today in front of you all. When I got a random email from some man named Mike Tabor, who's sitting somewhere behind me, in the education department at Colorado College, I could not see myself living in Colorado, across the country from my family, spending at least 3 hours a day teaching. I always thought I would use my degree to research at a think tank. But in teaching my first course, I discovered a piece of myself I didn't know existed. I was excited to plan activities for the next day. I enjoyed getting to class early to chit-chat with students. I loved their hard questions because it meant that in turn, I could ask them hard questions. And by the end of that first block, I realized that I had something to offer Colorado College. And Colorado College had even more to offer me. As a professor of education, the courses I teach are on social and political issues in education. Through that lens, it has become increasingly clear how important the liberal arts are to our society. You will hear me say again and again that one of our institutional priorities is reclaiming the liberal arts, reminding the world of our value and what we offer and what our graduates offer the world. This message is especially important right now, as people question the return on investment of a college education and continue to misunderstand and underestimate what a liberal arts education provides. But we know. We know that because of the block plan, we do the liberal arts better than most. We create educational experiences where we apply in-class learning to the real world, fostering skills like synthesis and evaluation to solve tomorrow's problems. This is not your typical experiential education. Before we take that field trip, begin that practicum, or walk into the lab, we practice asking questions, challenging our assumptions, and reconciling conflicting ideas. Consider something like climate change. When we teach and learn about this complex topic, we do so through the lenses of environmental science, sociology, political science, and journalism. None of the pressing issues facing our world today, geopolitical wars rooted in hundreds of years of conflict, the fight for human rights and justice for all, an environmental crisis, and an increasingly divided political landscape, none of these issues will be solved in a silo. So that is not how we work. It is true that we spend an inordinate amount of time together at Colorado College. But in doing so, we create a community that we may not always appreciate in the moment, but that will be impactful for years to come. A community born of co-created experiences is the perfect environment for deep, sustained conversations where we speak to and listen to one another with care. And then there's a block break, well, at least for the students, and we come back and start that process again. Eventually, it becomes second nature to go into an unfamiliar situation with an open mind and a desire to be challenged. Our graduates are well-versed in learning as much as they can in a short amount of time to come to an informed opinion. The world moves at a fast pace, yet effective leaders must balance the need to act quickly with the danger of making rash decisions that do not reflect the whole of who we are. Students, you may not know it now, but these are the kind of skills you will cultivate at Colorado College, and they're what our society needs. They will also benefit you for the rest of your life, helping you build healthy relationships and strong communities no matter where you go from here. In fact, while I came here because of the block plan, this community of people is what's kept me here. Colorado College students are the kindest, most compassionate, and caring people I have ever met in my life. One of my favorite stories happened my first year. I can't remember what class I was teaching, but during break, we were talking about what we were going to do for block break. So I, of course, said, I'm going to grade finals and prep for Monday. And the students immediately said, oh no, Manya, come with us to Breckenridge to ski for the weekend. And I said, well, I don't know how to ski. I've actually only been skiing once. And they all surprisingly said, oh, we can lend you our equipment and we'll take turns teaching you how to ski throughout the weekend. And I remember being stunned that students would genuinely want to spend their break with their professor. But it was at that moment I knew that CC students would be much more than I ever expected. I have learned so many lessons in humanity from my students, and I stay in touch with many of them long after they graduate. And that's true for most faculty and staff. We are all devoted to the success and well-being of our students and to making CC a place we can all call home. Faculty advise student groups, welcome students to their research teams, and spend countless hours with their classes studying abroad, in the field, and in the lab. Our staff mentor students, attending weekend and evening athletic performances and arts events. They provide around-the-clock care to deliver a world-class college experience. But being a supportive community doesn't mean we don't have problems. Like any family, we will have conflict that strains relationships and forces us to pause and reset. Last academic year was challenging. We all had to think deeply about our individual values and the values we collectively hold at CC. Sometimes it felt like acting in service of a personal value meant disregarding our shared values. We had and will continue to figure out how to manage the dissonance of simultaneously holding seemingly contradictory ideals. Working through this messiness is how we learn to be active participants in our community, in our society, and in our democracy, which is the goal of a liberal arts education. As we start this new academic year, I know things won't feel any less complicated, especially with the US presidential election. We will navigate these issues together because the liberal arts gives us a roadmap to do it. Already, we've started this journey with Cutler debates, the Crown Center's Challenging Conversations Initiative, and our Conflict and Community series. I believe in our ability to center humanity amid disagreement, because this is what we do every day. We know how to keep learning about each other, about ourselves, and about the history, context, and impact of what's happening across the globe and in our own backyard. We have the skills to lead with empathy. We just need to keep practicing. I want to close by thanking each of you for what you bring to Colorado College. Not what you do, but who you are. CC is a home to all of us, and what I see in front of me is a group of incredibly passionate, talented people who care deeply about one another and about the world. Let's lift each other up so we can become and be our best selves in the year ahead. It is a privilege for each of us to be here, but it is also a responsibility, the weight of which we must all bear together. Thank you. And now, to reinforce how phenomenal our community is, I am pleased to introduce the President's Just World Awards, which recognize alumni, students, staff, faculty, and retirees who demonstrate their dedication to principles that create a more just and equitable world. Lacey Carpillo, Vice President for Student Life and Dean of Students, will present the first award.
Hello. The Mike Edmonds Igniting Students Potential Award honors members of the CC community who encourage and mentor students to find and pursue their potential. This year's award recipient is a CC professor whose impact on our students and our campus is profound. It was, in fact, a 2024 CC graduate whose passion was ignited by this professor who nominated her. This year, we are pleased to present the Mike Edmonds Igniting Students Potential Award to Maybelline Gamboa, an assistant professor of organismal biology and ecology. Despite not even having her nominator in class, Professor Gamboa mentored them introduced them to professional opportunities, and tirelessly aided them in their successful graduate school application process. This level of commitment and positive impact on our students is something which all CC faculty aspire. Congratulations, Professor Gamboa, on this well-deserved.
Good morning, everybody. The Dr. Margaret A. Liu Health Justice Award honors members of the CC community who strive to ensure fair and equal access to health information, healthcare, a safe environment, and opportunities to improve health for all. This year's award recipient is a 1983 CC alum who has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to social justice through the development of equitable scientific and public health policies, Dr. Vivian Ota Wong. Dr. Ota Wong has had a storied career championing the inclusion of underrepresented communities in healthcare access and research initiatives through her work at the National Human Genome Institute, National Cancer Institute, the National Institutes of Health, and more. Currently, Dr. Ota Wong applies her expertise in racial identity, community engagement, and ethics to her work overseeing all women's health research at the NIH. In celebration of her extraordinary body of work, we are pleased to present Dr. Vivian Ota Wong the Dr. Margaret A. Liu Health Justice Award.
The Adrian Linnea Seward Bold and Courageous Actions Award honors members of the CC community who fosters and engage in crucial conversations, reach across differences to find common ground, and take bold and courageous actions to create needed change. This year's award recipient is a 1985 CC alumna and member of the Colorado Springs City Council, whose engagement in crucial conversations has generated unprecedented change in Colorado Springs, Yolanda Avila. Since graduating from Colorado College, Yolanda has engaged in the pursuit of justice, equity, and inclusion for underrepresented communities in both the government and in the nonprofit sectors. In 1998, then working for the Public Defender's Office in Orange County, California, Yolanda was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa, a degenerative eye disease. When she returned to Colorado Springs in 2011, Yolanda became an avid champion of efforts to improve transit accessibility, infrastructure, and ADA construction in the historically underserved southeast region of the city. For her bold and courageous actions, we are pleased to present Councilmember Yolanda Avila with the Adrian Linnea Seward Bold and Courageous Actions Award. Our recipients of this year's Ken Zalliser Stewardship Award and the Valviers Environmental Justice Award are CC alums Rose Harvey, class of 1977, and Gregor Robertson, class of 1986, respectively. Rose and Gregor were unable to join us today. However, you can read more about both of these exemplary CC alumni in your programs. As we conclude this year's Just World Awards, we would like to take a moment to remember Adrienne Lanier Seward, Professor Emerita of English, Packard Professor, and Just World Award namesake who passed in April 2024. Adrienne was an indispensable colleague during her 30-plus year at Colorado College, known for her commitment to ensuring needed change. The first Black woman to be a tenured faculty here at Colorado College, Adrienne's leadership and vision expanded our sense of community, institutional commitments, and holistic engagement with diversity, equity, and inclusion. In and outside of the classroom, she was dedicated to authentic conversations and initiatives that embodied justice and liberation. In honor of Adrienne, please encourage and support each other this year in bold and courageous actions.
Please rise as you are able and join me in singing the Colorado College alma mater. Please remain standing for the benediction.
Let us go now, Tigers, into this new year with openness, staying curious as we encourage each other in our love of learning, our friendships, and in exploring pathways of understanding, discovering and building resilience along the way. And in the challenging times, when we are tired and frustrated, perhaps grow impatient, disillusioned, and heartbroken, may we have the courage and strength to be present and to stay present with ourselves and each other, choosing to hold complexity and compassion, deep listening and truth-telling, discomfort and joy, as together we live into our communal values, knowing that we are in this together. So go now, Tigers, and let your lives speak.